Hi, all you SPMEs out there. So today's question has 3 answers, and you're going to want to stick around for the 3rd answer because it's a secret as to shortcuts you can take on your KDP dashboard that will make it much easier for you to get around and to find where exactly you're going, and also where you're going to spend a great deal of your time. So let's get into it. The question that was sent in today was using kdp.amazon.com self-publishing dashboard. Now, the person who is asking this question wants to understand a little bit better upon how exactly we go about using the dashboard that we find under KDP, which stands for, of course, Kindle Direct Publishing. So when you're getting started, it seems very confusing with all of the different menus and submenus. Now, it has been more difficult in the past than it is even now, but when you first start, it's unclear where you should begin and what exactly happens in the different areas under the dashboard. This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. Go ahead and click the subscribe bell if you would like for me to make more videos like this one, and check in the description below and you will find my free self-publishing checklist, which will tell you the secrets to making sure you aren't skipping the necessary steps to make money off of the books that you have. So let's get into it. Using kdp.amazon.com self-publishing dashboard. Well, when I first started, I saw immediately that this was a little bit confusing because you would start going under one of the menus and then you would start putting your book in, and then we were missing something, and then they would get back to you and tell you, oh, you forgot something, and then you would have to go back and figure out which menu it was located underneath in order to check up again. And then the same goes with the ads. They were put somewhere, and then you were trying to figure out where exactly they were located, and you had free promotions and countdowns going on, but it wasn't clear where exactly you would find all of these different tools. And then when you would get sales, well, which books were selling exactly? Did you have to manually go under each book to find its individual report? And then finally, you would also have the issue for tax purposes when you were going to be pulling in all your data. That would also be confusing, trying to figure out, well, where exactly for the different markets, and how long does it take for them to come through? Just very confusing. And it took me a long time in order to work with this, and after 170 plus books, I can tell you I've completely mastered this area. I made lots of mistakes in the beginning, and it was very confusing to me. So, using kdp.amazon.com self-publishing dashboard, let's get into the answers. So, the first thing is, there are 4 main areas that you need to master here. The first is your bookshelf, the reports, the community, and marketing. Now, the bookshelf, we can just start with this because it takes time, and you should really just play around and explore these different areas when you're getting started. The bookshelf is the location where you're going to go to find your latest books that you've published and the status of books that your newest books that you're putting in there. So that's the first thing you're going to find. The reports is going to give you the ability to see the graphs necessary to see what sales are being made, how many pages are being read in your books. The community is a place where you can ask questions to other people who also are doing Kindle publishing, even though I generally like the communities on other sites like Facebook or Reddit, but you can also use the community in there in KDP because obviously whatever problem you're facing, they've also faced. And marketing gives you the ability to set up advertisements and also setting up your author central, your author ID in there, or maybe multiple. I think you can have up to 4 author IDs in there. You can have an infinite number of pen names, but 4 author IDs that you're allowed to put under the marketing area. So you definitely want to take some time to explore these different areas. But let's get to the secret answer of the day, which deals with a couple shortcuts that will make your life easier when self-publishing on Amazon KDP. The first thing is that under your bookshelf, when you open up a book, you can go under there and directly set up the promotions for the book. So that's an important one to keep in mind. You can also change the prices on what the book's selling for. And you have the ability to set up ads from there. So you can get those ads up and running from that location. You can say run advertisement or marketing against it. The next is your reports area. And under the reports area, you're going to want to look at the beta reports they have. There's advantages to both of the reports, but I like the beta reports. And you can also, on the other reports, you can go to the history and look back and see how well you're doing over time for the years and years you may have been publishing, or if you're just starting, you'll be able to see the history. But on the beta reports, it's much easier to see which of your books are making a killing, okay? And so I personally like to use both of them. And then we have the community. And the community one, that, as we mentioned before, that also will give you some of the tips there. But the marketing one is one that I don't use so much, only to set up your Author Central. But under the reports was the key one that I would normally use in order to see what's going on there. And I would set the ads up directly from the individual ones. Now there's later on when you get the ads going and you can then do batch editing of the ads, and that becomes a lot more complex. But just in terms of the initial, that sort of gets you up and going with regards to this specific issue in the question that was asked today. So using kdp.amazon.com, self-publishing dashboard, well, what have you found? Have you found any tips or tricks with regards to this dashboard, or other ways of using it that maybe are even better than the ones that I found? I always love to hear about it. Let me know below in the comments, and check up above me here for more video answers to your questions on self-publishing. Thanks.